So we got some good pictures. We got the looking off in this view here. It's very pretty with the barn, the foliage. And we also got it right down here with this road. It looks nice. We're here in Mendon, Cider Hill Farm. And there's just so many places to see. And we're going to turn around and we'll look at the road up there. And you'll see that that's just very much a painting in itself. We got the dead tree, but then the bright color yellows, the little road. Yes, this is a good spot. I think that's the painting there. I think that's the painting I'll do. That is very nice. We got the good perspective going down, and then we got the trees going up, and the highlights, and the little dark spot down here for you to focus on, the viewer. I think that'll be the way to go. And another time we'll do the farm maybe. That's very nice as well. But that's a good idea. This is our next painting. Hi, I'm glad you showed up. We're going to paint a local scene today. This will be episode 9, part 1. This is up in Mendon. There's a road up there. I can't pronounce it. It begins with a Q. I can't remember it offhand. I should have had that, but anyway. And we're going to paint the picture I thought was really, really pretty, really nice. What do you think of that? Isn't that beautiful? We got the nice warm colors. I can get it over here. There we go. Nice warm colors there. Mostly all yellows. Mostly all yellows. But these trees, to go upright, that kind of breaks it up a little bit. And then we do have a horizontal line there. A bit of a horizon. It's a bit dark, which I'm going to emphasize that a little bit more. I like the contrast. And that'll be a nice fall scene. Okay. So my colors are going to be on the warm side. I do have titanium white, yellow ochre, yellow medium, transparent orange, cadmium orange, alizarin crimson, green earth, cerulean blue, French ultramarine blue, burnt umber and raw umber, and I use liquid to help me instead of terps. All right. So the first thing we will do, I think, is I'll do a little bit of a wash. We'll get the big places done here with a wash, which is going to be some yellows and some oranges. Let's see what we get here. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little bit warmer or darker because it's in the background. Get some of this here. I think I'll make that just a hair darker. You got to have darkness to show light. You need one with the other. Some liquid. Okay. And put some brushing of the terps a little bit there. Loosen it up. Okay, so let's get some color on here. As you can see, there's no sky. There's just different shades of orange. Just throw that up. All right. I'll get this down here. Okay, right here it gets fairly dark. And I don't want to lose that. Matter of fact, I'm going to darken it a little bit right here, right now. Even darker. Let me add some of that green in there. Touch of this blue. A little bit of ultramarine blue. You see how that darkened that up right away? As I put it here, I can see that I still want it darker than that. There. And then this gets real bright yellower out there. But right in here it's darker. And then in the middle, it's even darker yet. So we're going to add, we'll darken that up. Yeah, that's what I want. Because the light, there's still some light getting in the background here. It's coming in the background and you'll see light lines, which is between the trees, and you're seeing the bright foliage further back. Show you what I'm talking about. Right here it's very dark, but you can see there's some streaks of light there. So the sun's coming behind these trees over there somewhere and coming down and brightening the yellow leaves, which you're seeing between the trunks. And that works out good. That's nice. I like that. All right. So let's continue on with this dark color right here. There we go. And that happens right over here. I'll bring this up a little bit more because I'm going to have leaves on the top that are lighter color. And making this a little bit dark with the lighter leaves on top, you'll get that contrast. And that's what I like to play with, the light. It's a darker green. Not a bright green, but it's right in here. We'll put that there. There is a driveway here. I don't know. See, decision time. Do I want to put that driveway in or just have the road come out like that? Does that driveway help the picture or is that a distraction? I'm calling it a distraction. I'm not going to put it in. I'm not going to put it in. So this road is going to go right up here. Okay, there's some green here. All right, I'm going to take the knife and do this. Okay, as I can see right now, that's too light. That's too light. Let me take some of that blue. And this brown here. All right. I want the variation in the color. That's why I'm doing it right now with a knife. It changes. I want to see the changes. I don't want it perfect. This is fun. I love when you start using a knife like this. Being careful doesn't seem to apply as much. You just put on a smile and you go with it. Yeah, now you see we got that. Still got some white areas in there. Let's get some more of that yellow ochre. Some more of the brown. hit. Now the paint I'm putting on here is a little bit thick. That's all right. We're going to fix that. Now you watch. Let's rub some of that off because we're going to, the sun's coming in and hitting that, but the sun's not reaching all the way up here, right? There. Now if you try to be that random, you couldn't do it with a brush. So now we got to decide tree trunks. A lot of people put tree trunks, it's all brown. Straight telephone poles. And that's not the way it is. A lot of it is kind of gray. Some of it's white when the sun hits it right. Like white birches, they're bright white. Beech trees, when the sun's hitting it, can be a very light gray. And yada yada, so you can change it too, you know. These trees are in a dark shadow, so they're darker than these trees here. I could make these trees even darker than what they are, just a little bit, and increase the contrast. Same with this tree here. But I think what I'll do now is I'll just paint it in. And I'm going to paint it in with a bit of like a gray. And let me see, we'll start again with we'll go back over here. There we go. Get some white over here. A little bit of brown. That's okay. That's okay, because we're going to make the tree a little bit darker than it is, and we'll put our highlights on afterwards. That's going to be one of the last things that we would do. So, let me grab a brush, get some terps. Mineral spirits, not really turpentine. Turpentine is pretty potent stuff nowadays. And after you're breathing it for, depending how long you're painting, but for years, and that you can develop an allergy to it. And some artists will tell you it's not when, or it's not if, it's when you get allergic to it. So I use mineral spirits. Again, I'm not going to be too exact. I will finish up these trees with a knife. And I will put some texture onto it. That's one of the things I like to do, as well as putting a texture on the trees. Give it another dimension. Put some thickness, some thick paint on there, and cut down here. Like I said, we're going to be painting right over these with limbs. With leaves. But I'm doing this so that we have a blueprint to know where the trees are. Working the painting up. And this is all going to be hidden anyway. There's so many leaves. It was a beautiful day. My friend Dwight and I, we went up to the end of this road. And if you go beyond here, the road does continue on, and this is tarred, but it goes into a dirt road and it goes off into the woods in there. I've been down there once before, but I didn't go with the car. I took my pickup down there, and I took my daughter's dog Bailey with me. And the park's up there, like a reserve, a forest thing. Beautiful, beautiful. But Dwight and I came up there, and oh, the day was just perfect. It was early in the morning, and looking at this picture, if you turn to the right and you look, there's a stone wall, and you looked off into the field, and there's a farmhouse way on past almost at the horizon. But early in the morning, and there was a frost, and the frost was covering the ground and had this kind of white purple haze to it. It was nice, really. When you get to a place and you see something like that, it's just plain luck. You just got lucky. Now you got to grab your phone, your camera, whatever, and you got to capture that. And you got to be quick because it changes so fast. People that do photography will tell you that. You got to grab it when you see it. Now we got a good layout here. There's some trees back here. There's some trees back here as well. Yep. Okay. So we know where we're at now. So now we're going to lay in some paint. But you always got to have your coffee handy, though. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes I paint, I have some nice music, some Vivaldi with the spring, and playing on my Google contraption thing there. I might even have a candle going. I got the windows shut. The door is shut. I paint on the front porch. It's all enclosed. And I create my own little world, and I'm painting, and I have a ball. I have a great time. Painting can be like therapy. Yeah, I love it. I mean, God knows what kind of trouble I get into if I didn't have this to do. Okay, so starting from the top, up here we got those orange leaves, but we want to start with the leaves that are further back and work our way up. So when we look in the background, we see that way in the back here is pretty dark. And I did put some dark colors. And then we got this, well, this is kind of red. This is, as you can see, is more red than yellow. So we'll make up a mix for that. We'll put that down. This is lighter than that, but it's darker than that. So we got to have a middle ground. Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like we're going to transition from a light yellow to a dark red or bright red, and that in the middle. This is green. These leaves haven't turned. And I'm going to keep it like that because that dark green in here will be a nice contrast. It will make these yellow leaves stand out even more. Okay, so we got some orange. I know we might do a transition here. Let's put some orange here and some red here. And let's go across and see what we get if we come across like that. Yeah. So we see we got we're getting different shades. I brought the red too far over. Put some more orange here. Now we take some bright yellow, and we can come over here with that, bring that in. See? And if we steal a little bit of white, oh, we got some blue in that one. Okay, it's all right. So it's a nice variation of color. I should have made a bigger swath. But this here is going to be my red. Right in there. Use that for that. Whoa, that's way too red too, though. That's way too. So how are we going to dull this down? You put black on there? You could. But I think if we use a little bit of French ultramarine blue, see how that cuts back? I cut that back so much that I went too far. I went a little bit too far. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, so now, so I think that red, some of that's further back. So we're going to do it, a very technical process here. I'm going to take a paper towel, put it in the rabbit hole, fold the edges in there, like that. Make a little flower-like, dab it on. You got to throw your arm a couple of times like this, otherwise you won't do it right. All right, let's see what happens here. Look at that. You think that looks good, huh? You got to turn and twist. Not twist it while it's on the canvas, because then you'll end up with a spiral of some kind. It won't look good. So this comes down all the way down to this tree here. All right, and then we got some in the back here too. My little flower is flattening out on me. So I don't care. I know I'm going over the tree a little bit, but that's all right. I'm not worried about that. The tree trunk will be one of the last things we do. All right, and then we got some going along up here. Okay. And let's see, there was another spot right around here. That's kind of orange. I think I'll go off to the orange a little bit more and do this here. There we go. I'll come up here. Now I'll go over the top of this too with other colors. Now this paint is also blending in a little bit with the first wash I put down there. And that gives it a little variation in the color. It works out in your favor. So I got the one sheet. I could use 2 sheets. I'll just take one, fold it in half, make a hole. I saw this by a Russian artist on YouTube, Igor Sharov, something like that. Fantastic artist. Well, really good. You can learn a lot when you go on YouTube and stuff like that. Read your books and stuff. And if you're fortunate enough to have an artist that teaches, and he's close by, and he teaches the way you want to paint, or you like to, take lessons from him. Don't hesitate. I don't teach. But there are some artists around that do teach. We have some, we're very fortunate. In New England, there's some of the best artists in the whole country. Top artists, masters. Now, I'm not saying you can get take lessons from them. I don't know how busy they are. But they have videos out and YouTube out. You can see some of their work on Facebook and stuff. You can learn a lot. There's a lot of it. I can name a bunch of artists that inspire me. These guys are masters. Okay, now let's kind of blend these, and I don't mean blend by sweeping back and forth. We're going to take and tap it. Smooth out the edges a bit. This is a different way of blending than as opposed to using a fan brush, and where you would be going back and forth like you would smooth out water or sky. That's a different technique. There is an artist that does ocean scenes I've watched on YouTube. I'm going to say he's from Denmark or Holland. Fantastic work. But he does a lot of blending with this big brush. Thing's about that big around. And he blends the skies with that brush, and it just works beautiful for him. Now you can see my colors are somewhat muted. There's nothing really bright standing out. We have the shown as a difference. There's some red area and some yellow area. But I will be putting thicker paint on top of all this. That'll help give us a transition, pop, and some definition. Time for coffee again. And stand back and just stare. All right, one thing I can see right now, and my reds are a little bit bright. But doesn't mean I can't keep it like that. I kind of like it brighter than what it was. Okay. Now this time, I think I'll use a brush. And I will use, I use this brush for, yeah. This will work. All right, let me see. Let me see how that works. All right. There's some dark colors in this brush because I used it before. And I could wash it out. But you know what? I think it's working for me. Because again, this here is not the final color. I'm trying to make it trying to build it up. Different texture, different colors. Even though it's yellow, it's going to be yellow. There's still variations of the yellow, variations of the red color. And just trying to get that in there. If we just had bright red, bright yellow, bright red, it looked like some kind of sign on the side of a truck going down the road. I'm letting this kind of like blend in with that darker brown. But again, here, I'm looking for variation in color, texture. Makes it interesting. We're not painting a wall. Okay, now let's get some orange. And some yellow. Let's put some yellow in there. Blend that in with the red. You can see the way I'm holding the brush. I'm not really being very precise. And it's going to be bright light going across here. That's all right. And there's some leaves on our dirt road. There's some leaves. They look like they're pretty orange. Leaves over here. Yeah, right. Put them in there. It tapers off out of sight. Over here, it goes off in that direction. All right. I'm dragging it down because I want it kind of blurry. I want some colors, I want some oranges, and I want that stuff in there. But I don't want in focus, to speak. Because I'm going to put tree trunks, small ones in there. This is going to be a little darker here. We have a guest with us today. Lynn has come to watch us. And hopefully she'll come back again. Because I don't think I'll finish this in one setting. And we allow guests to come and watch. If they're that bored at home, they can come here and watch me do this. They might get a laugh. If anybody is thinking about painting, I would suggest that you do it. Just do it. Try it out. Some people like oils. I do. I love oils. Some people like acrylic. Some people like watercolor. Some people like pastels. There's no right and wrong. You just have to decide what medium you like. But the results for yourself are the same no matter what you use. The satisfaction that you get from painting. The satisfaction you get from painting is like therapy. My goodness, I'd be in trouble all the time if I didn't have this. But you should. You should just get a little set, try it out, have some fun with it. Yeah. Put this in here a little bit here. blend that in a little bit here. You gotta step back and look. Like I say, we're gonna put paint with a rag or a paper towel on top of this down the road. We're just setting it up, the background. And once we paint these tree trunks in, that'll really give us some depth. That'll push things around. Do some glazing. That'll going to make a big difference. I like using glazes. Okay. I see there is a tree here right next, and it's highlighted. I like that. These trees are a little bit darker. This one's a bit lighter. I'm just going to make a note of that. I like that one there. Okay. Coffee time again. Okay, now let's paint in some of those trees. See, I just took that brown, I just threw it right in there with the red. We can throw that away too. Mix it right up. Not trying to make a nice straight line. Again, it's not a telephone pole. You still have to keep your eye on it. The tree's usually thinner at the top, and I didn't make this thinner here. That's all right. I can make the tree always bigger at the bottom. Here we go. And like I said, I'll be going over this with a knife with some texture. And that'll disturb the edges a bit, make it look more rustic. So we got 3 trees, and they just happen to be at the right spaces. Instead of 3 perfectly equal trees, we've got 2 close together, then one third one's further away. Try to keep, as a rule of thumb, they like odd numbers. 2, 4, 6 is not very good because, I don't know, your mind makes logic out of it. You need something that's going to catch the attention. 3 is odd, 3 is different. It's not balanced. Okay, now this is actually going to be light. These 2 trees are going to be really light. But I got them darker now. We can lighten them up after. I just don't want to lose what we have. Yes, we're going to have a branch going up there too. And we got one that's light there. These here we don't see. So I'm just going to make them a suggestion that this tree's there. Okay. I'm not trying to make too much texture or make it look like bark yet, because like I said, I'm going to go over this with a knife. On the trees that are closest I am. I'm going to give some texture to the bark. Let's put some of the trees over there. They are also a dark tree. They're way in the back. But between the tree trunks, there's going to be sunlight bursting through. I'll get my maul, steady as your hand. This thing here is probably 100 years old. This was my father's. This was my father's. That's too much darkness. We got to gray it up a little bit. Let's see what this does for us. Let's see what this does for us. Yeah, that's better. That's better. So I'm going to put down now, instead of making them all down, put these trees all in like piano keys. You got to put some on the angles, and even though it's not, they're all straight there, I don't want it to look perfect. I want some variation. I want variation in color. I want variation in the texture. I want variation in the forms. Smaller ones. Smaller ones that are more faint, further back. Yes. Giving just suggestions that there's something back there. Do the same thing down here too. And this, we'll give her something. Let them know there's something back there. Just a couple of things. And over here, we'll do the same. In the picture, these trees that are in the background back there are kind of dark. I'm not going to make them that dark because I don't want to draw the eye to the edge of the painting away. This is the center of attention right here. I'm going to glaze this to make it even darker later on. But I want this to be dark and this to be bright, this here area. I want people to follow their eyes down to the road and let their mind wander back there. I don't want it to go off the painting. I think this is a good place to stop. We'll let this dry, and we'll come back with another episode, and we will put with rags or sponge or something like that. We're going to put the branches in. or the leaves rather. We'll dress up these trunks so that they'll, you know, I can do that. Maybe I'll do that right now. Let me do that right now. Make it more realistic. Let's get this in there. Yeah, let's. Because these trees here are catching a lot of sunlight. They're catching a lot of sunlight. They're almost totally white. And I will put texture on them with a lighter color, but we can show some of the light. And just while we're here, while we're talking about it, let's do that. Let's put some, so we can see what we're doing here. Let's put some white. Let's put some light in here. We'll cover it up. It'll be covered up after. But just so that we can see. And this will be all light. The sun's shining through there. And it comes right over the top there. And the bright yellow is going to be shining right up on this one. Maybe that too. Leaves shining. Sun is hitting it. I can't help myself. See, now I'm off and running again. That's what happens. You start enjoying yourself and you can't stop. The sun's hitting there. The sun's hitting up here. Sun's hitting up there. Here we go. We're out of control now. We're out of control. We're having fun. Somebody stop me. Somebody stop me before I ruin it. This covers up this tree a little bit. So does this one here. And this goes all the way over there. Yeah. I better stop. I'll ruin it for sure. So we'll let that dry, and we'll come back and do some glazing, do some highlights. That should be fun. And if you know of a place that you think is nice to paint, you think would be fun for me to do, let me know. Get in touch with the cable TV place right here. And address an email to Michelle, and she'll get in touch with me, or get in touch with me with VL Thayer Fine Art, and we will check something out. Dwight and I will go out there, we'll take some pictures, have a look. If it's something I can do, we'll let you know, and you can maybe come out and tell us a little bit about that area. And what's it mean to you? So let's get together and start highlighting our area, our neighborhood, our neighbors, the surrounding towns. There's a lot of places around here, and there's a lot of places I don't even know about, but you might. And we're not scared or afraid to, go out a little bit and look around. I can't promise I'll go in the rain. I can't promise I'll go when it's 40 below, but we'll check it out. And I know now with the leaves gone, it might not be the best of time, but keep us in mind. If there's something you think will look good as a painting, let me know. So until then, grab a brush and have some fun. Bye.